Don't take this for granted. We are watching greatness.
Because we are all enjoying him by seeing him play. So amazing, just amazing, no words.
First and foremost, this guy doesn't chase records. Records chase him.
It must be exhausting to hate watch Messi because he keeps shutting these morons up.
Is Messi going to crown it all himself? He has to.
Can't be the best ever because Maradona did this and he's not doing that. He's not performing to his best. And I think the last two World Cups in particular have shown essentially like how big his legacy is going to be.
Yeah. A lot of people joke that Messi came to Miami to relax on the beach, drink mate, and just chill. Instead, this brother was getting prepared for a World Cup in the USA.
He wasn't at the level of previous World Cups, of previous iterations of himself. I think he might have proved that wrong.
I mean, well, how many times do we need a lesson that doubt him at your own peril?
He keeps showing that as long as he's on the pitch, he's the best player in the world. Everything still goes through him.
Who's the best player in the world right now and why?
Every time we talk about this, I mean, same question, I would say Messi.
I'm the same. Everyone thinks just because he's playing in America, in Miami, I still think he's the best.
Yeah, I mean, I've had like 3 times a chance to play against him.
What's that like?
Messi's goal to break the record for the most goals scored at the World Cup was his bread and butter. Madrid fans watching probably got PTSD because it was almost identical to the winner he scored at the Bernabeu. Good guy Messi missed the pen on purpose so he can score an ethical goal to break the record. Like, how am I supposed to explain to people that a dude who was seen as an international fraud,
Lionel Messi will never be regarded as the greatest ever player because he's never done it at a World Cup.
A revolver called the World Cup is put to Messi's head, and if he doesn't win it, it fires and kills him. It's madness.
The truth is that if Lionel Messi and Argentina do not win the World Cup, people will look back and they'll point the finger mainly at Lionel Messi.
And I think there's a feeling, not just in Argentina, but that geniuses should somehow suffer for their greatness.
Is now the top goal scorer in World Cup history.
He's scored more World Cup goals after the age of 35, 12 in total, than Cristiano Ronaldo, Thierry Henry, Maradona, Rivaldo, Neymar and Harry Kane in their whole careers. Never mind, kind of over the age of 35.
But this is what he has done his entire career. He silences the doubters. Some people talk on Instagram, others do their talking on the pitch.
I think at this time as well, you get a chance to see from all around the world how important it is to so many people. Not just those in Argentina, but for those who love the game of soccer itself as well.
People always used to say that Messi wasn't a leader because he doesn't scream, he doesn't pound his chest, he doesn't act like a cheerleader on the sidelines. Euro 2016. But leadership isn't about noise. Messi has been leading by example for 2 decades. If I played with him, I'd run through a wall for him because I know he'd drag me to a trophy.
No existe la casualidad, muchachos. ¿Saben qué? Esta copa se tenía que jugar en Argentina. Y Dios la trajo acá. Dios la trajo acá para que la levantemos en el Maracaná, muchachos. Para que sea más lindo para todos. Así que salgamos confiados y tranquilos que esta la vamos a llevar para casa.
Because when you look at his career, from Barca to Argentina to Miami, it makes perfect sense why he has more trophies than any footballer in history. The man just doesn't stop winning. When people talk about Messi's greatness, they usually jump straight into the goals, the dribbling, the highlights. But the real story about Messi isn't just about his talent, it's about the impact he has had. Everywhere he has went, Barcelona, PSG, Argentina, Inter Miami, it doesn't matter. He just wins. Before Messi arrived at Barcelona, they were already a big club. They had history, they had legends, they had won trophies. But Barca were inconsistent. They would go through cycle, a great year followed by a bad one. Messi changed all that. Before he became a starter, so in the early 2000s, Barcelona had 1 Champions League title, which they won back in 1992. They had a handful of La Liga titles, but no dominance. They had a reputation for beautiful football, but not long-term consistency. They were good, but they weren't yet the standard of world football. Once Messi broke into the first team though, Barcelona went from something great to a team where you expected them to win everything thing every season. At Barca, Messi won 10 La Liga titles, 7 Copa del Reys, 4 Champions Leagues, 3 Club World Cups, 3 European Super Cups, and 8 Spanish Super Cups. He was the reason those teams reached another level. Between 2009 and 2019, Messi led Barca to 8 league titles in 11 seasons. No team in Spain had ever dominated like that. The goals he had, the assists, the playmaking. He made Barcelona unbeatable. Teams would step on the pitch already half beaten. A lot of people try and downplay these achievements because he played for one club, which first of all is complete nonsense. I don't see anybody belittling Totti or Maldini for sticking with one club. No one says Sir Alex Ferguson can't be the GOAT manager because so many of his achievements came at United. So it's already a moronic point, but it also just doesn't make sense. Every year the Barca team changed. The 2011 team, where Messi played as a false 9, was drastically different from the 2019 team, where he had to carry everyone. He adapted to new roles, new teammates, new managers. As the years went by, the talent around him actually got worse, and yet he somehow continued winning. People downplay league titles because they aren't as sexy as the Champions League, but the league values longevity and consistency. You can go on a nice run in a cup competition, but you can't accidentally win the league. Now, of course, Messi was also incredible in the Champions League. In 2006, we saw a young Messi break out. He was actually quite impactful that year, but of course, people try and downplay that Champions League because he wasn't the main guy. Then in 2009, he was a beast. The man scored in the final versus Sir Alex Ferguson's Manchester United team. They had Rooney, Ronaldo, Vidic, and Messi, the smallest player on the pitch, scored a header to win them the title. Then in 2011, this is in my opinion the greatest Barca team ever, and Messi destroyed Sir Alex Ferguson's United again. Personally, this is my favorite version of Messi. Then in 2015, he wins the treble with Suarez and Neymar. Outside of 2006, whenever Barca lifted the Champions League, Messi was at the face of it. His 2011 campaign, the 2015 campaign, and even his 2019 one, even though he didn't win the Champions League, were some of the greatest individual performances you're ever gonna see in that competition. Messi also turned the Copa del Rey into his personal playground. He won it 7 times, and he also scored one of the greatest goals in the tournament's history. You know the one.
I have to say. Well, there's 3 of them riding. Still going. Look at this, Kevin. It's a brilliant run from Messi. Did he go all the way? It's one of the great Copa del Rey final goals from the magical, mercurial Lionel Messi.
Before Messi, Barca were still giants, but with Messi, they became one of the most dominant club teams of the modern era. Even now, when a team plays unbelievably well, they joke that that team looks like 2011 Barca.
This game at Wembley, watching this Barcelona team, and when I say this team changed football, this is the greatest team of all time, I'm talking of that era. I'm not just talking about Thierry's team, I'm also putting that team together. In some ways, it was just, 2 or 3 players slightly different, but it was that Pep Guardiola, changing football, Messi in that position, Xavi, Iniesta, so many of the same players. I mean, that era for me is the greatest.
So yes, Messi did join a great team, but he also elevated that great team into a dynasty. Then when he joined the Croissant Warriors at PSG, he continued winning. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like this was the most prestigious chapter in his career. It wasn't. But a lot of people forget that PSG did not win Ligue 1 the season before Messi joined. They actually lost the title to Lille, so they weren't as invincible as social media made them seem. Messi joined in 2021, and even though people make fun of Uber Eats, PSG still needed him. In both his seasons, PSG won Ligue 1, and Messi was a key reason for both titles. In fact, one of the league titles was literally won by a Messi free kick. Was PSG the happiest part of his career? Absolutely no. But he still produced and won. Messi left Paris with trophies, just like he always does. Now, he had already completed club football in the early 2010s, so it's only fitting that he ends his career completing international football. Because for over a decade, Messi carried the entire country on his back. The pressure was insane, and Argentina kept losing. They lost in the final of the 2014 World Cup. They lost in the 2015 Copa America final. They lost in the 2016 Copa America final. It got so bad that Messi retired from the national team in 2016.
Que ya está, se terminó para mí la selección. Como dije recién, son 4 finales. No es para mí. Lamentablemente lo busqué, era lo que más deseaba. No se me dio, pero creo que ya está.
The poor guy cried after the penalty loss to Chile. Everyone kept saying that Messi would never win anything with Argentina. They said he didn't have leadership. He wasn't Maradona. He couldn't handle pressure.
Es un pecho frío, camina en la cancha. No lo pueden comparar nunca con Maradona.
Siempre lo banqué toda la vida, pero no puede ser.
Then after the disaster versus France in 2018, many people thought it was truly over. But then, the greatest comeback story in international football happened. At the 2021 Copa America, Messi finally lifted his first trophy with Argentina. He was the player of the tournament, the top scorer, the top assister, and of course he helped Argentina beat Brazil in Brazil.
Why Messi is the best player I ever seen in my life? Because he's a competitor, he's an animal.
That alone would have fixed his legacy, but he wasn't done. He then helped Argentina win the Finalissima in 2022, crushing Italy, the European champions. In that final, Messi dominated again. And then of course, there's the 2022 World Cup, the Holy Grail. Messi put together his best World Cup ever. In fact, one of the best World Cup campaigns we have ever seen from any player. And he delivered Argentina their first title since 1986. 2 goals in the final, a penalty in the shootout, which was huge given the fact that he had missed in finals before. And he was the leader of the entire tournament. He completed football. Once again, he could have retired then and there. Yet he added another Copa America just 2 years later, making it 2 continental titles in 3 years. Argentina went from heartbreak after heartbreak to winning absolutely everything once Messi found the right team and the right manager. So it makes sense why the whole footballing world was stunned when after all these achievements, Messi decided to join what everybody calls the Burger King League. Now, it wasn't a surprise because a superstar was coming to America. They had seen that before. Pele to the Cosmo, Beckham to LA, Henry to the Red Bull, Lampard to New York City. All of these guys are big names, but Messi is different. Those guys came to the MLS at the end of their career. Messi went to Miami after one of the best years of his entire career. He had just won the World Cup. He had just won the Ballon d'Or. He wasn't finished by any means. He wasn't washed. He still had so much left in the tank. So the question everybody asked was simple. How did the best player in the world end up in the United States? Now, to understand this, we have to go back, because for most of Messi's life, it felt impossible that he would ever leave Barcelona. Nobody could picture him anywhere else, let alone in a league where people still call football soccer. Messi leaving Barca in 2021 was one of the craziest moments in football history. Now, it might have seemed like it happened overnight, but the problems had been growing for years. In 2020, Messi sent Barcelona a burofax, which is basically a fancy legal letter in Spain saying he wanted to leave. His reasons made sense. He was fed up with the way the club was being run. Bartomeu, the terrorist, had made terrible transfers. He had brought in Coutinho, Griezmann, Dembele, spending huge money on players who didn't fit.
Shut up, you fool! Shut up! Do you know what you have done? Business! You gave my sweat to 419ers. That is what you have done! I know, but I did business! Shut up!
All he had to do was surround Messi with runners, and he couldn't do that. As a result, Barca kept getting embarrassed in the Champions League. You have the collapse against Rome in 2018, the infamous meltdown at Anfield in 2019, and of course the 8-2 spanking against Bayern in 2020. Messi had enough. Bartomeu had even promised Messi he could leave whenever he wanted, then blocked him from doing so. I swear Bartomeu must have been an agent from Real Madrid. Messi wanted to go in 2020, but Barca said he missed the deadline on his clause. And because Messi didn't want to take his childhood club to court, he stayed one more season. But by 2021, Barca were a financial disaster. They had the highest wage bill in football. COVID had destroyed their matchday revenue. They were more than 1.3 billion euros in debt. And La Liga had slashed their salary cap from 600 million euros to 200 million euros. Even after Messi agreed to take a 50% pay cut, Barca couldn't register him. La Liga wouldn't bend the rules, and Messi literally couldn't play without a registered contract. Like, even if he wanted to play for free, it wouldn't have been possible. Now, Laporta had promised fans that Messi would stay, but like I said, it just wasn't possible. So on August 5th, 2021, Barca announced he was leaving. Messi naturally cried at his press conference. He didn't want to go, but he was left with no choice. After leaving Barca, Messi joined the Eiffel Tower lovers PSG. Everyone thought it was going to be a super team with him and Neymar and Mbappe, but things did not go well. His first season wasn't great by his own standards. He missed large chunks of the season because he was injured, and he only got 11 goals and 15 assists in the league. This is fine for normal players, but incredibly low for Messi. PSG collapsed again in the Champions League, losing to Real Madrid after Benzema scored a hat-trick. Messi missed a penalty in the first leg, and the fans never let him forget. His second season was much better, 16 goals and 16 assists, and PSG won the league again. But even with that success, Messi never felt loved in Paris. The boos, the criticism, the tension, it just didn't feel like home. Barca wanted him back, but they couldn't afford him. Saudi Arabia offered him 400 million euros per year. These guys were giving him unlimited money, but Messi said no. And this is where David Beckham and Inter Miami come in. Beckham had been dreaming of bringing Messi to the MLS for years. He talked to Messi's camp back in 2020. Things got serious in 2022.
My vision was always to bring the best players, but the chance of bringing the best players is difficult. I sneaked into Messi's dad's hotel about 4 years ago in Barcelona for a meeting with him. They said, we want your son. We want him to come to Miami when he's ready. And then when he was at PSG, we then saw an opportunity. All of a sudden, everything aligned. I was actually in Japan the morning that I found out that he was coming. His dad had called us that week and said, Leo's going to make an announcement. And it was 5 o'clock in the morning and my phone is like going mad. So I pick it up and I saw a barrage of like messages. He'd come out and done his interview, but we wanted him to announce it in his way. And he literally was sat in a hotel room and saying that he's coming to Miami.
Inter Miami were offering him something that no other team in the world could match. A share of Apple TV revenue, a massive Adidas sponsorship, part ownership of the club, a long-term life plan in the US, and a quieter lifestyle for his family. Messi already owned a home in Miami. His family loved the city, and he didn't want another season of pressure and drama like in Europe. So he chose South Beach. And from the moment he stepped on the pitch, absolute magic. In his debut, he scored a stoppage time free kick winner against Cruz Azul in the Leagues Cup. A classic Messi moment. Then came Messi After Dark, the name given to watching Messi play at night in the MLS. Against Atlanta, he got 2 goals and an assist. Against Orlando, another brace. Against Dallas, 2 goals, including another late free kick to save the match. Miami, who were at the bottom of the league and had never won anything, suddenly looked unstoppable. Messi scored in the quarters, he scored a banger in the semis, and then he scored in the final against Nashville. Miami won the Leagues Cup, their first ever trophy, and it was all because of this man right here. In that Leagues Cup tournament, he played 7 games, got 10 goals and 4 assists. Then after that incredible run, Messi just kept going. 23 goals and 13 assists across all competitions. A record 5 assists in 1 MLS match. He helped Miami win the Supporters' Shield with a league record 74 points. He scored his first hat-trick for Miami and became the first MVP in Inter Miami's history. He changed everything, not just at the club, but the entire league. MLS was no longer seen as a retirement home. Fans around the world started watching, and Miami became a global brand overnight. Messi had joined another league, and he was dominating again. Now, the first version of Miami with Messi was thrilling, but kinda messy, no pun intended. Sure, they won the Leagues Cup right away in 2023, but injuries and a terrible start meant that they still missed the playoffs. The next year, they won the Supporters' Shield, which is like winning the league, but crashed out early in the playoffs. Tata Martino resigned, and the project fell shaky. So 2025 was supposed to answer a big question. Was Messi and Miami just a marketing thing, or could this team actually dominate? At first there was a lot of doubt. Miami got knocked out of the CONCACAF Champions Cup, and fans and media wondered if this team could ever actually win a serious trophy. Because remember, the MLS Cup might be called the Cup, but that's the holy grail of Major League Soccer. That's the trophy you want to win. But their new coach, Javier Mascherano, kept insisting that the team was learning, and slowly Miami found momentum. At the Club World Cup, they were the only MLS team to get out of their group. They eventually lost to the Champions League winners PSG, but that run gave them a lot of confidence. It was after that everything clicked. Messi went crazy. 8 goals in 5 games, then 11 goals and 10 assists in his final 10 league games, and then 6 goals and 9 assists in just 6 playoff games.
This season in particular, the piece of news that were coming out of seemingly every weekend was Lionel Messi scored 2 goals and assisted in a couple others. Lionel Messi had a hat-trick. Lionel Messi did. It's about the productivity.
He wanted to win this title for Jordi Alba and Busquets, who both retired after the match. Messi talked about how emotional it was to send 2 of his closest friends out as champions.
Feliz por lo que conseguimos, por ello, la verdad que terminen su carrera de esta manera es muy lindo para todos, se lo merecían después de lo que fueron. Como jugador, los dos más grandes, o entre los grandes de la historia, cada uno en su posición, con toda la carrera que tuvieron, títulos que ganaron, y que puedan retirarse con esta MLS, creo que hoy no son conscientes todavía de lo que están viviendo, del retiro, y bueno, hoy se le termina algo muy hermoso, donde le dedicaron toda su vida. Y nada, a partir de ahora empieza otra vida, a la cual le deseo siempre lo mejor, porque son 2 amigos, los que quiero mucho, y nada, feliz de que se puedan ir con este título.
He for real carried them at Barca and carried them again in Miami. Now, Inter Miami enter Messi era 2.0. They've closed the door on the first version of the Messi era. The old guard, Busquets, Jordi Alba, maybe even Luis Suarez, are stepping aside. Rodrigo De Paul came in, and the way that Miami dominated the playoffs showed what the future might look like. Miami did what Bartomeu should have done at Barca. Messi in the middle, surrounded by young, fast players who create space for him, who run for him.
You needed to get physically fit players around him. You need to get legs in that team to run for Lionel Messi. If there was one player who was allowed to kind of take those defensive plays up, it would be Lionel Messi to manage his energy, to conserve that, if you will. And they were great. I think they managed who was around him in a better way.
That's exactly how Miami scored 20 goals in the playoffs, and Messi was involved in 15 of them. Now, Messi isn't just thinking about Miami. He's thinking about the MLS as a whole. He's talked publicly about how he wants the league to grow, to invest more, and to aim higher. Miami feels the same way. They want the MLS to evolve. And having Messi, the greatest player of all time, pushing for that, gives them a lot of power.
Those that cover MLS depend very heavily on Lionel Messi. And Lionel Messi is always at the center of every piece of news that comes out of Major League Soccer.
This is exactly what Beckham dreamed of when he joined the MLS in 2007. His move changed the league. Messi's move might be doing the same thing, but on an even bigger scale. Messi dominating another league just feels normal to me at this point. It shouldn't be, but it does. It was proof that Messi didn't come to Miami to relax or retire. He came to compete, and he came to win. To see how many people have become Messi's victim over the years as he's won everything there is to win, you have to check out this video right here.